realized we did more than try. We're right at the edge of the sky. Now it's time to fly. Level up this time. No be small thing, we gon' level up. No more waiting.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Ajayi, your board-certified psychiatrist, and welcome to The Real Question. We have a problem, y'all. Recently, it went viral when a woman tried to buy her daughter a Tesla, and her daughter declined it. Here to talk about that issue is Neshie Simmons. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Neshie's a mother of 7, grandmother of how many?
6.
Of 6 children, and she owns a credit repair business and an ultrasound business here in Atlanta. We also have Joanna, a mother of 4, here to talk about the same issue. And you're a customer service manager here in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Thank you, and welcome, ladies, to the show.
Thank you.
All right, Neshie, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
You're viral.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you make it to the Shade Room yet?
Yes.
Did you make it to Jasmine brand?
Yes.
Where else have you made it to?
World Star.
Oh.
50 Cent page.
Okay.
Bootsy Badass page.
You can do what you The real question.
Okay, Bootsy Badass page. I went viral like in so many different social medias: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere.
You did. I've been keeping up with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Your story has been so impactful, at least for me, because as an African child, you know, we aren't given much.
Right.
And your story resonated with a lot of Americans, and I think actually worldwide. Are you worldwide?
Yes.
Have you been getting DMs?
Yes.
What kind of stuff's coming through your box?
Some people was asking me like to help them. I got people like asking me to come on their shows.
Yeah.
Nigerian people, China, just inboxing me, asking me, can I give them permission to use my original video? They'll pay me. So I've been getting a lot of deals.
Well, I hope that everything works out for you.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the video. I think Joanna wants to talk about the video. She got a chance to watch it literally walking into this set today. Okay. So it's fresh. Take us back to that moment. So for the viewers who weren't able to watch the video, basically it's your daughter's
Sweet 16.
Sweet 16 and her golden birthday. What's a golden birthday?
It's the day of your birthday the year you were born. So like she was turning 16. So her birthday is February 16th. So that's her golden birthday.
So you're turning an age the day you were born?
Yes.
Okay. So you're good with math.
Yes.
All right. And so kind of walk us through. You try to surprise her with a Tesla, and what happens?
So I got her a Tesla. She always wanted a Mercedes, and she wanted to be pink. Of course, you can't get a pink Mercedes. So when she was like seeing Tesla, she like, oh, that's cool. I like that car. So I tried to get her something that I thought besides the Mercedes that she would like. She don't like that Tesla.
So she had been wanting a pink Mercedes. Did she give you a year?
No.
She just wanted a pink Mercedes.
Right. But now that we went to the Mercedes dealership, she wants a 23, you know? A 23. So we found one though. It was like the same price as the Tesla.
Okay.
So I could trade the Tesla in for the Mercedes. But then her dad felt like she was so unappreciative that she need a car that's smaller.
Take us through that day.
Okay.
You're trying to surprise your daughter with a Tesla.
I'm trying to surprise her. So I'm trying to surprise her with a Tesla. It's like the S model is kind of like the top.
The Model S is the top Tesla. Okay.
Besides the truck one. And then I was like, well, it's her Sweet 16 and it's her golden birthday. I'm gonna give her $1,600. I gave her $1,600.
Yeah, that's in the video.
So we went in there. I was like, you know, come out. She put her earmuff on because I have an online business. She's the earmuffs and the mouth is a thing, but she covered her face.
Okay.
And so when I got her out there, she was just like, that face. I'm just like, what the hell? I wanted to cuss her out, but
you did.
I wanted to cuss her out, but I didn't because I was already recording. But I'm telling you, when I got off that camera, I gave it to her.
Okay.
So she was really upset, like that she couldn't get that Mercedes because my other kids got the cars that they wanted. But at the time that my other kids got the cars they wanted, They didn't want a Mercedes. My one daughter wanted a 2018 Dodge Journey, so I got her that. And my other daughter wanted a Jeep, but they didn't want a new expensive, car. So she felt like she should have got more than $1,600. I don't know what kind of, I don't know what type of money she wanted, because she said the $1,600 was just not enough for her.
I think she said little money.
Yep. She said
little money. And so this is a mental health show, right? But we talk about social issues. How did that make you feel? You walked in there with, how much was the Tesla?
$52,000. And then I paid $14,000 for the battery warranty.
Hold on. $52,000. How do you feel about that?
I think there's a lot of questions that run through my mind. Just a lot. Does your daughter have a job?
She do.
Okay. So you didn't want to have her put into giving her own, or
no,
understanding where money comes from, how it works, things like that? And no,
because it was her birthday. Then to me, it wouldn't have been a gift. If you're making your daughter pay for her own gift, then to me,
it's not necessarily making her pay for her own gift. It would be the understanding of money and where it comes from. If you're purchasing your daughter a $52,000 car, she should be grateful in general. If your other kids are getting whatever they were looking for and your kid is asking for a Mercedes, my question would be, what would she need a luxury vehicle for at 16? Is she trying to assimilate with, I guess, people in her area? Or, I mean, I can't see a 16-year-old driving a Mercedes-Benz. She gets into a car accident. And
not just a Mercedes-Benz, it's pink. So it stands out. And so I hear the vein of questioning you're going down, right, and I want to add to it.
Well, I just think that's what she wants, and that's because my kids pretty much get what they want. So, and then I drive luxury cars, so
She did say that in the video. Your daughter, when you took her to the dealership, she was saying, well, you drive such and such, you drive such and such, why can't I have such and such? And how'd that make you feel?
The whole thing kind of made me upset. Honestly, I'm not mad at her that she did not like the test.
Okay.
It's how she did it. I teach my kids to speak out how they feel. So I'm not mad at all that she rejected the Tesla. I'm mad how she went about it. She could have just said, you know what, Mom, thank you for the Tesla, but this is not what I wanted. I wanted a Mercedes. And I would have been like, okay. But how she did all this and twisted her little, that's the part I have a problem with. I don't care if she don't like the Tesla, because now that I'm driving a Tesla, hell, I don't like it either. You got to charge it every freaking other day. It's saying that you have 325 miles. You're getting about 200 because everything drains.
For me, it's not about the liking it. It's about the appreciation. It's about the respect. Your parents went out and did what they thought was best for you at that time. If she wanted to get something else, she should have worked and say, I appreciate this gift, Mom. I actually do really want the Mercedes, and I would have took her to the dealership and said, this is how much the Mercedes is. If you want to trade this in, this is going to be the difference, but this is what I'm putting down on this right here. And then let her work to get what she wants. Because if you're just always handing and handing and handing, if my kids, I have, yes, 4 daughters, but they're going to definitely work to get what they want. They have to understand nothing is free.
Yeah.
You definitely have to work to get what you want.
So with your question, I like it. We don't want to make assumptions, though. We want to ask real questions. How are your children raised?
They're very spoiled. And all 7. And all 6 of my grandkids. Listen, I feel like, honestly, I bust my butt daily. My kids is my everything, and honestly, that's what keep me going. So I just, whatever. My son is 23. All my kids live with me. Every last one of them. All my grandkids, and I take fools. I take care of them. They work. I do make them work, but I work every day. I open up businesses. I have a new business coming in the spring. I just opened up the 2nd location of ultrasound. So if I gotta keep working and open up business for life for my kids, that's all I do. I save my money. I pay bills, take care of my kids. And I know a lot of people disagree on my daughter doing that, but I just feel, like I said, I think the way she did it is the problem. But her telling me she don't like that car, I don't care.
There's nothing wrong with saying that you don't like something. Everybody should most definitely have their own opinion.
What?
Saying that you don't like something, but there's also a way about it.
A way.
Most definitely, there's a way about it. There's nothing wrong with trying to also get your kids what you want, but I think it's within reason. I think it's within reason. It wouldn't make sense. I'm not buying. I could literally buy my 16-year-old, a Maybach if she wanted, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get it for her. It's not reasonable. It don't make sense.
So the question for you then would be, what are you calling reasonable?
I was just going to say.
Reasonable, yes, of course. That's a good question. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
To me, it's a liability. It doesn't make sense to me.
What's a liability?
I'm not buying a luxury vehicle for them to sit in. You're learning. I can remember the first time I was driving a car, I was racing down parkways, cutting people off. And that wouldn't make sense to me. I think you're in a luxury vehicle. You need to be mature about how you're driving and how you're taking care of business, basically.
Is that because of what? Is that because the vehicle's more expensive, or because any car can kill someone else?
Maintenance is expensive.
Oh, because of a maintenance.
Maintenance is expensive. The insurance is expensive. I'm thinking long term. You can have the money to spend it, but why spend it just because?
So your question actually isn't about the daughter. Your question sounds like it's about the parents.
It's always about the parents. It's not really about the daughter because it's the parents who are raising.
But you're talking of two different issues. She's trying to talk about her daughter's response to getting something she didn't want.
Of course.
Your response is actually a critique on the parents.
It's not a critique.
Choosing a luxury vehicle instead of a cheaper vehicle.
No, it's not a critique. It is more so, one, it's an opinion. Definitely not a critique because everybody raises their kids however.
Well, that's what we're doing here today. We're here to criticize because that's what the internet's doing with her viral video. I bet your inbox is full of criticisms.
Yeah.
And support.
Yeah, some people supported me, and some people, it's like, I probably got like, what, 20, 30,000 comments, if not even more.
That's what I'm saying.
That
She's
was like
getting flooded with opinions.
that I didn't look, but at the end of the day, that's just their opinion. They're looking at, I feel like everybody's looking at the value of the car. They're not looking at.
And that's where we are with it. I want to hold it right here for just a second, because that's what you were just saying. For a 16-year-old, get her something cheap to kind of bang around real quick before I put my money.
Reasonable. There's a difference between cheap and reasonable. I'm not saying she should drive around a hoopty. I'm saying she should drive around in something reasonable.
Okay.
Not something.
Well, that was the question. What's reasonable?
Of course, yes, it depends on the parent. But in my opinion, a $52,000 car, Tesla was reasonable. A Mercedes isn't reasonable. I mean,
what if they cost the same?
Down?
No, it is.
You can really drop it down to a Toyota.
What if they cost? What if they cost the same?
It could cost the same because you can get a low body, Mercedes, and it could.
Is that what you were getting here? I thought you said a 2023 Mercedes cost the exact same as a Tesla.
It's that Tesla.
As a 2019 Tesla.
Yeah. Because the Tesla brand new is like $123,000.
So did you catch that? A 2023 Mercedes-Benz costs the same amount as a 2019 Tesla.
Maintenance is different.
Okay, tell us about
maintenance on a Tesla. It's low to none maintenance on a Tesla.
Not true at all. I paid $14,000 on the warranty just for the battery. The battery alone is like $25,000.
Battery is expensive.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things that go wrong with a Tesla. That big old screen in the front, that costs money to repair.
That big old screen. It's a big screen.
It's like a 20-inch screen for the heat and stuff. It costs money. Mercedes, it costs money too. I just got rid of Mercedes, so I actually think the Tesla expensive is more than the Mercedes. I mean, you got to think the power of the thing, if that go broke, can't charge a car.
The adapter.
I just think that people is biased when it comes to kids and the cars, honestly. I feel like I think the people that is, and I'm not talking about you, I'm just saying in general because I don't know you. If they can afford it, I think they'll do it. It'd be the people that can afford it has a lot to say. And that's my opinion. Because what about the rich people that go buy their kids? I mean, Candy just bought her daughter a $100-some-thousand car. I don't see nobody down to her like they down to me.
With what you're saying makes sense as far as, I mean, it's always going to say it's acceptable when a celebrity does it, right? But then when I'm looking at the celebrity buy their kids all of these expensive gifts or all of these expensive chains, or a 3-year-old wearing a $100,000 necklace, it's ridiculous to me. I can spend the money. I can do the same thing, but what's the why? There's no why for it. I'm not seeing or
we want to ask the real question. We want to ask the real question here. The real question would be to ask Neshie, why?
Cause it's my money. Ooh. I bust my butt every day. Ooh. And that's what I want to give my child.
All right.
So if I want to go buy her a house, a car, another car, I feel like it's my money, and it's just what I want to do.
That's the community response, but this is a mental health show and I'm a psychiatrist. So I'm not going to accept that response, because when someone asks you why, the why goes deeper. Why is Neshie Simmons parenting this way is what she's really asking you. She ain't asking you, do you have the money in your account? She ain't asking you, do you care what people's opinions are about you? She's asking you, even with all the resources in the world, why? When you have options.
Because if that's what my child wants, that's what they gonna get.
But
she didn't want that.
Why?
He's asking what happened to you as a child.
Yeah, exactly. I'm asking, why did you do it that way? You're both women. You both have kids. And unless I'm wrong, you're both Black?
I'm Black.
You Haitian.
You're Haitian. Okay. So you're Haitian and you're Black American? Okay. So just to be clear, you're Haitian, you're Black American. And you do have different cultural backgrounds. So, but why?
Well, I know as a child, I got everything I wanted as well. I don't know, that's just how I was raised, and I actually came out as a good person. So
that's your lifestyle.
That's just my lifestyle, yeah. And honestly, I work how I work and do what I do to give my kids everything they want.
What about
but I also
there? When you're not there, when you're not around.
We want to be real specific.
When you pass away.
Okay, well, when I pass away, I got a $100.3 million policy on me to provide for them when I'm dead. They get their own house, and they going to have $200,000 a piece after they get their house.
You have a who? How much policy?
$1.3 million.
Yeah, but do they know how to manage money?
They do. I teach, my 16-year-old, she got like almost $4,000 saved up. I teach my kids. I'm just not giving like, oh, okay, they called me today. Let me get $100,000. Oh, hold on, let me get it. That's not it. I teach my kids more than just material stuff, but I also just provide for them how I want to provide for them.
But you didn't go viral for sitting in a room talking to your kids about economic welfare. You went viral for splurging $52,000 on a 16-year-old and giving her a wad full of $1,600 of cash that she threw to her little brother and said, you can have this little money. Then she handed you the Mercedes keys and said, you can have your car. And then she left you in the street and walked inside the house and shut the door in your face. That's what we're talking about. So if we're going to be real, let's keep it all the way real. Why? And then you turned around and took it to the Mercedes.
Because I felt bad at that point.
You felt bad?
Because she didn't get what she wanted. I felt like I spoiled her birthday. She didn't get what she wanted. So as a mother, I like to see my kids happy. So I try.
Would your mom have done that for you?
Yes, my mama buy me any and everything I want.
And she would
right now today.
That reaction that your daughter gave you, the same reaction that your daughter gave you, she would have been.
And I tell people honestly, I haven't been the best child as when I was younger either. I gave my mom and dad hell too.
Okay.
Trust me, it ain't. I mean, I'm talking about hell. So yes, I could have got suspended from school. She still gonna buy me a pair of shoes.
So it's not uncommon. So the lifestyle that you're providing for your kids is not uncommon from the lifestyle that you live. But so you're okay with her reaction?
No.
Slightly not okay.
I never said I was okay. And I never said that. What I said was I wasn't mad that she rejected the Tesla. I was mad because how she responded.
But you took her to the dealership anyway. So people at home are thinking you're rewarding bad, disrespectful behavior.
Yeah, but they don't know what I did to her after.
It don't matter, because after that, you took her to the dealership and to get another car. So what's the message you're sending?
Well, do what you want to do and don't care what nobody say.
That's the message. Say that last part.
Do what you want to do and don't care what nobody say.
So it's okay for her. I'm just asking simple questions. It's okay for your daughter to be apparently like disrespectful, right? So because you assume that, you also say that it was disrespectful the way that she acted. So it's okay to be disrespectful as long as you get what you want at the end?
No, that's not. That's definitely not what I'm saying. I mean, she was very disrespectful, right? I get that.
Yeah.
But also, it's her sweet 16 and her golden birthday, right? So listen, her disrespect came from me kind of spoiling her birthday. That's just what I thought. And so, yes, she's very, very, very spoiled. And yes, I'm not even for the lie, she was very disrespectful. But to me, as a mother, I felt like she didn't get what she wanted. So I wanted to make sure her birthday was right. So
if it was on, her birthday was on the 16th, it was on the 17th, and she had an attitude, it wouldn't be acceptable that she had an attitude on the 17th? Because it's not her birthday on the 17th.
You talking about the car?
Well, her attitude, really.
Right. Well, she have attitude all day, every day.
But then you're still rewarding bad behavior. So
no,
it doesn't matter. So after the day of the week, so it don't matter the day of the week.
But actually, after that, I haven't bought her nothing. I got her that's it though. But I don't reward bad behavior. Y'all gotta
That's 52 weeks in a year. He spent $52,000 on the car.
But y'all gotta understand, I do not reward bad behavior. It's just that.
Excuse me, ma'am, but you did.
No, we're
gonna keep it on the real. We're gonna keep it real. On the real question, we've got to keep it real. You did reward bad behavior, and the question was why. And you've already said it. You said it twice in two different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Guilt. You had mommy guilt. But not only did you have mommy guilt because I guess the look on your daughter's face that she was disappointed on her birthday and her golden birthday, but you had guilt from a second place, which is knowing your own mom probably would have caved in and given it to you. And here you are trying to hold ground against your daughter in a different way. Am I right? And so how did that guilt feel in that moment when your daughter slammed the door in your face and walked inside the house and you just left in the street recording? What'd you do?
And that's just two things came to my mind. Like, damn, but I'm about to beat her ass.
Okay.
That's what came to my mind. Like, dang. And I really felt bad. Like, I shouldn't have did that. I should have just maybe just got the Mercedes and let her, painted it pink afterwards. But
so you think if you got her a white Mercedes, that she still would have, you don't think she would have reacted the way that she reacted? Or you think that she would have reacted the way? No,
I don't think she would. I don't think she would. Because I would have been like
100% guarantee that she would have reacted the same way because you didn't because it wasn't pink.
I think because I could explain, like, listen, they didn't come in pink, but here go the white car, and we're going to go get it painted pink.
She didn't even like the Tesla. You think she gonna like your answer?
Then at that point, she just wouldn't have got nothing. At that point, because I got her the car she wanted.
The audience doesn't believe you, and neither do we. We don't believe you wouldn't have done nothing. Well, listen, we see a mom trying her hardest to make her daughter happy.
Yeah.
We don't believe you would have drawn the line there. And so, Joanna, what she's saying is, she spoils her kids, and she really doesn't care what you, me, or anybody else has to say about it. So, I guess the question is, do you think that inherently being spoiled or being a spoiled child is wrong?
No, I don't think spoiling your child is wrong. I think there's levels to spoiling a kid. I think it varies on the person. To each his own, basically. But what's common sense to me isn't common sense to you, basically, right? So what she considers spoiling, I don't want to say it's above and beyond, but it's not. I don't think it's really spoiling. It's just basically slightly overdoing it.
Okay,
in my opinion.
So, but overdoing it is a concept of what you're used to. And so Neshie is telling us that's how she was raised. So why don't you share with us, how were you raised?
And this is where my parents gave me whatever I wanted. Yes.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying. Like, I understand giving your kid whatever they want, but I think it's within reason. My parents gave me whatever I wanted, but at the same time, respectfully, I understood that my parents worked to get me what they wanted or worked to get where they were. And, made sure that my brother and myself was in school and made sure that we were respectable and made sure that we spoke to people with respect. So I think it encompasses, it's not just one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
You do good, you get
Rewarded. Okay.
Yeah, you understand?
Yeah.
But then even if we didn't per se do good, but we were just their kid and they bought us stuff when they wanted to buy us stuff. But anytime, like, I don't...
That's not what she said. I want to be clear. She said she gets whatever she wanted whenever she wanted it. You're just saying you get whatever whenever the parents wanted it.
Right.
Which one is the more accurate version of your lifestyle growing up?
It's whenever, I mean, I didn't really want for much. So there's a difference there. It would be a difference in that too. I didn't really want for much. I was a happy kid. So if I wanted something and I asked for it, they gave it to me. But then there's other times that they just bought me things just to buy me things. So it's kind of like a twofold process. If my kid comes up to me and says, "Hey, mommy, I want this," I'll be like, "All right, well, is your room clean? Did you follow the directions? Did you do your homework? Did you do this?" I would ask them questions before I'm saying, "Sure, let me buy you whatever."
Okay.
So it's not as if they're gonna walk up to me and ask me, "Can I have this?" And there's nothing, there's no pay for it per se.
And feel free to interrupt. If you feel like she's taking silent shots at you, jump in.
No, I have a question. So do you have a limit on your kids? Because you're saying that a Tesla is too much. So basically you have a limit of what your kids can ask for, right?
I don't have a limit on what they can ask for, but it has to be reasonable. I'm not gonna. I can get my kid a Mercedes, but I'm not gonna buy it for her.
Say to me, you don't buy your kids what they want. It's a limit then, right? Because if you can afford a car that your kids is asking for, because I don't, like, my daughter been driving since she was 14. My mom teach all my kids at 14 to drive, so if emergency comes, they'll be able to handle it, right? So you're saying that it got to be reasonable. So that means your kids have a limit of what you spend on them. Me, there's no limit. My kids are mine, and what I want them to have, I'm gonna get it. Like, so I can say to you, well, you're their mother, but you have a limit. And if you're saying you can afford it, then you're putting a limit on your kids or what they can have.
Well, I'm showing them what's reasonable. And if they want something different when they're older, they're well within their right to spend their money, whatever it is that they want. But I'm telling you, this is what's reasonable. I can spend the money. Just because I can spend it don't mean I need to.
I wonder if what you're asking, because I like to ask, are you asking, is there a limit on the motherly love? Because if you put a limit on what you get your kid, if you can afford it, are you also asking her, are you like limiting your love too? How much you show your love for your child, how much you care about your child, how much you give your child? Are those two things connected?
Show love, but what you give them for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not love. Cause you don't have to buy your kids anything, it's their love.
Okay.
But I just feel like if you can afford something, because I noticed you said that about 12 times now, that you can afford to buy this and afford to buy that, but it's a limit. But if you can afford it, it's no limit because it's not gonna hurt you. It don't make sense to have a limit to something that you can afford.
You're counting her coins. She's counting your coins. She's saying you must be bluffing. You must not be really able to afford it.
I mean, because
nobody has to say what I'm saying. Nobody has to say that they can afford. What I'm saying to you is, I can say, anybody generally can say, "Hey, I can afford this."
But does that mean they can afford it?
She's saying if you really can afford it, you should be able to buy it.
No, I don't have to buy to please somebody else.
It's not about pleasing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't have to buy to please somebody else. But if I don't deem it reasonable, why spend the money?
She's asking, why is it unreasonable if you can afford it and your daughter's asking?
Right, because it's not a such thing as if it's reasonable, you can afford it. Like, that's like, for instance, I mean, I get it's like, that's like, for instance, if something is too high, then you're going to put a reasonable price on it, right? So, because I keep hearing you say, I can afford it. I can go buy my daughter. I can go do this. But then you put at the end of that sentence is, if it's reasonable.
What's the real question? What are you really asking?
Can you really afford it?
Ooh. That's the question.
That could be a question, but it doesn't even matter if that's a question or not.
Okay.
Because what somebody deems affordable, worth it, reasonable is a personal opinion, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I can say to you 50,000 times, 20,000 times, generally, anyone could afford anything as long as they spend the money on it, right? And not you can afford, right?
Say what?
It is. Anybody can get it. If you decide to get a loan tomorrow, the bank approves you. If somebody decides to lend you money tomorrow, you've got the money.
That's it.
Right, but you can still get it, though.
That's it. That means if your credit is good, that means you can afford it.
No, if somebody comes up to
you're not. That's like my daughter is 20. She can't go to the a car dealership and say, "Hey, I want this $100,000 car." They gonna be like,
you say to her, technically she could.
"No, I can afford it." I never said that my daughters can afford it.
But then that would also be an issue too if your daughters can't go to a dealership at 20 and be able to afford a Mercedes Benz that they're wanting.
My daughter is 16. I said, no, I use it. So my daughter can't afford a $105,000 car. I'm saying, no, because you said anybody, not just use them as an example. My daughter cannot go to a car dealership and say, well, I want $105,000. They're going to say, let me see your credit and let me see.
Well, she's not talking about daughters. She's talking
about my daughter.
You're talking about any parent.
I mean, she's saying in general.
Yeah, she's talking about any parent.
I did, but that's not true, though.
It is true.
No, I just want to clarify. She didn't mean your daughter could go buy.
Oh, so I was just using her as an example.
Well, let's not use your daughter as an example because she's talking about adults, grown adults, any grown adult. That's what she's saying.
But that's
what do you disagree with?
Everybody could not go to a car lot and get a car, because if that's the case, I don't care what nobody say. Everybody's dream is to have something nice. I don't care. You can pretend like it's reasonable, and you can pretend like, oh no. Everybody wants something nice. That's just the world, just in general. Because at the end of the day, you bust your butt every day to work. So you go, everybody. That don't make sense, because why would somebody go pick out of a hoopty, and if they technically can go to the lot and get a nice car, why wouldn't they? You'd rather go get a used, beat-up car that you want to put money in, or are you going to be able to go get a nice car, have a warranty, and don't worry about no issues? Like me, I'm not worrying about no issues. I'm not paying. I don't have to pay for anything because it's a new car.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is like contradictory to me.
It's not contradicting. What I'm saying is super straightforward. I think there's a big difference in American culture and Caribbean culture or culture outside of the United
Let's touch on it. What are you really saying?
There's a very big difference between American culture and Caribbean culture and any culture outside of the United States. When you're saying, oh, and everybody wants something nice, but it depends on the person themselves. A person could be living in a, let's say, shack or a hut, and they think that they're living the best life ever, right? But you're going to come to the United States and say, hey, oh, I want a Mercedes Benz, or I want a this, or I want a that. And you think that you made it. You really didn't. Just because you have a top of the line car, or you have a 15 bedroom house, I mean, it's legitimately materialistic. So what I'm saying to you is you can have the money to spend it, right? With the money to spend it, it also has to make sense to the person. It also has to be reasonable.
I want to clarify what you're saying.
I'm not getting the reasonable part. I'm sorry.
I think you're hung up on the word reasonable, and I don't think you're wrong. I think a lot of Americans are going to be, a lot of viewers are going to be hung up on the word too. Can I change your word?
Sure.
Deserving. You don't think?
I don't think deserving is the right word for it.
But it sounds like, well, that's what you're saying.
No.
That, yes, you might be able to afford a car that's $50,000 for your child, but do they deserve a $50,000 car?
No.
That's what you're saying.
No, deserving is a different definition for deserving. Because
help me understand where we meet. What are you saying? Because she doesn't understand reasonable, and I want to make sure the audience gets it.
Because my opinion, of course, is just because you can afford it doesn't mean you have to spend it, because there's no benefit in spending it, because you're not necessarily becoming a better person. To me, it's the individual. You're not necessarily becoming a better person because you're driving a $80,000 or $100,000 vehicle, right? It's not doing anything. It's not benefiting me. If it doesn't benefit me, if it doesn't put more money in my pocket, if it doesn't put more assets, if it doesn't grow with me, it's a waste of money.
So I have a question. So I see that it say you are a service manager, right?
Customer service manager.
Right. So that means you work hard for your money, right? I'm just saying in general, not saying like you go there and slave. I'm just saying every day you get up and you work hard for your money, right? So you're telling me that if somebody gave you an opportunity to buy a Mercedes or whatever, or a Hyundai, since it don't make sense, it's not reasonable, you gonna pick the Hyundai? So you gonna bust your butt and just get a Hyundai?
So just in general, right? I own my own home.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 vehicles. I've had a BMW before. I've had a Mercedes before. My family owns their own businesses. It's not like it's uncommon to me, right? It's common, but it's not worth it. It doesn't make sense to me at the end of the day. And if it doesn't make sense to me, I don't need a luxury. If I don't need a luxury, a vehicle is a vehicle. It's not worth. It depreciates in value. I want things that appreciate in value. A luxury vehicle.
What appreciate?
My house appreciates.
So real estate.
Real estate. Okay. Yeah.
Property appreciates. Vehicles do not appreciate in value. Businesses, I can pass that down to my kids. Long-term wealth is what I want to pass down. Knowledge is what I want to pass down. Being a good person is what I want to pass down. Buying them a luxury vehicle because they want it, it's not something that I want to pass down. So within reason, yes, it's always going to be within reason because it has to make sense. I'm teaching my kids sensibility. I'm not saying that you're not teaching your kids sensibility, but that's what I'm teaching them. I think there's a big disconnect in being able to teach your kid what's sensible. Just because you want it doesn't necessarily mean it's sensible.
So she's touching on the messaging.
Yeah, okay. So like me, if you work for everything you got everything. Because everything you and name, we got. We got bank accounts, savings account, college funds, everything you basically name, I've been having, right? It ain't nothing else I need. If I want to spend the money on a car, I'm going to do it. But I mean, if I die today, it's going to go to them, right? So I live one life. And I just feel like that's where I guess I'm different from you. If you have everything you just named, we got. We got business, we opening businesses. I mean, everything that you're saying. My kids got savings accounts since the day they come out my womb. Everything you possibly can think that my kids have or need, they have. So I just think a car, like, I guess what you're saying is cool, but again, it goes back to if you can afford it, I still don't get. Because are you just throwing stuff out here, or do you really? Because I'm not even throwing no shots. I'm just asking because if you have had your own business or you got your own business, you had a Mercedes, you had a BMW, then how did you go back to? Because you're saying you want stuff to increase, right? Meaning that you want stuff you could pull your money out of. Then how did you go back to a customer service? Why you didn't pull the money out for your house to get more money and open another business?
She's asking, why are you an employee?
If you had all that and you got all this and you got all that, then how did you become?
I still have my own business.
Oh, you work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I open up businesses and do stuff to get what I want. I'm not going to work every single day just to go think of something reasonable. I go to work every day to get what I want. I bust my butt every day. I didn't go to college. I didn't open up business and say, oh, I ain't getting anything because it's not reasonable. I do this to get what I want.
But I think the audience doesn't disagree with that. They disagree with
buying
it for your kid.
No, and I don't even think they're disagreeing that I bought it for my kid. They're disagreeing because how she responded. Because they said, well, how you going to buy a kid a car that's so disrespectful? Or, they looking at that one video and just thinking that she's just this totally monster. Is she disrespectful? Yes, like any other.
They're looking at the video you put up where she disrespected you and you took her to a Mercedes dealership afterwards.
My kid is not disrespectful, no. That's unacceptable.
Okay, see, I feel like she's, I ain't trying to
be real. No question. Be real.
I ain't trying to shoot. I don't know you, honey. So I'm not trying to, but I feel like you're one of the people that's in the closet. Like, acting like your kids is perfect. Everybody kid is perfect. I think every kid have a form of disrespect to their kid, to their parent. I don't care who they are. It's something. Them lying, saying they're supposed to be here, it's supposed to be there. That's a form of disrespect. Every kid have shown a disrespect. And honestly, and not how you said you read, like, I'm a sport brat. I'm the only child. So I get whatever I want. And I came out very damn successful. It's whatever the kid put in that they want to be in life is what they're going to be. I don't care if you spend $10 on them or $100,000 on them. They're going to be how they want to be no matter what. Because
But your job as a parent is to parent, right? So then whether it is your parenting bad behavior or good behavior, you're saying whatever they turn out to be, they're going to ultimately be, whether you decide to parent either way, is what it sounds like.
No, what I'm saying is, no matter if you're a good parent or discipline your kid, you can beat the hell out your kid every day. Be the best parent that you think you are. Don't mean that's the parent. That don't mean you're a good parent. The parent that you want to be. That don't mean that kid gonna come out and be the best. Listen, I got one whooping in my life. I'm 43 years old, but I came out damn successful. My parents, my mom, they had to whoop. I mean, she should have, but she did. I wasn't the best kid. I ain't been disrespectful to my parent, but I knew what I wanted to be in life. And what I'm saying is, no matter if I buy my daughter a $50,000 car and you buy your kids a $10,000 car, that don't mean your kid ain't gonna be disrespectful. Your kid can still come out and be with all type of stuff. But you can be one of the parents that's in a closet.
I'm never in the closet. That's one thing.
So your child, you telling me out of 4 girls, your kids ain't never disrespected you.
There's levels of disrespect, right?
Right.
Has my kid has said something back to me? I mean, yes. What I'm saying to you is my kid would never, if I give them something, they would never sit there and throw a hissy fit. Your daughter threw a hissy fit. And then be disrespectful and say, hey, oh, this little $1,600. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. In no way, shape, or form, my kid will never, ever.
Do you know that, or you just assume?
Oh, no, I know that. Because they even said to me, Mommy, I would never do that.
Do you think this is going to impact your daughter in her future relationships with men, other women, and friends?
Not her friends, because her friends is already don't have, whatever.
I'm most interested with men. That's my most interested.
Oh, well, honey, I mean, sir, I'm teaching my baby, if a man can't provide for you anyway, you don't need to be with him. That's just...
Well, don't you think you're setting the bar really high for that guy?
Hey, men need to provide for their family regardless anyway. They don't...
Provide is one thing. That's nuts, berries, shelter, and clothing. You're asking me to provide you a $52,000 Tesla every birthday, golden birthday, whatever.
No, not all the time.
Do you think your daughter's going to have an unrealistic expectation of men in her life? That's the question.
No, I don't think so.
Have you ever thought about that before today? So don't just answer so quickly.
Well, no.
Take a second and think about it.
Listen, I didn't think about that, but I always tell my kids, if you're giving a cookie jar up, they need to provide.
What? Wait. Wait, I want to be clear because people are going to think you're raising a Cash App daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but no, I'm honestly, if a man can
clarify so that people don't eat you up.
What I'm saying is, a man is supposed to provide for their family, and if they can't, then that's not the one for you anyway.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Any man that you go, so if a woman can lay down with a man, then they become their problem, meaning they need to provide for you. Why are you sleeping with somebody that cannot do nothing for you? And it's not about money. It's just in general. For me,
thoughts. I mean, you gotta have.
Hell, I'm not. She says she.
And you're coming out of your daughter's coming out of a 2-parent household. Mm-hmm. Your kids are in a 2-parent household. Yeah. So we're on equal footing here. But what are your thoughts to what she's saying?
What's the actual question?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a lot because I assume you're from a different demographic. You haven't heard this stuff before.
As far as
what she's saying, if you're giving it up, a man should have what it takes to
agree to that, right? Or are you teaching your kids it's okay? You teaching your girls that if you can lay with a man, they should be able to provide, right? I hope that's what you're teaching them.
That's not even a conversation that I'm necessarily having with them at this age as far as laying with a man. My conversations that I'm having with my daughter, it's educating themselves.
How is it running?
My oldest daughter is 14, so she's not too far from
14, 16.
Right, but see, I have a grown daughter, so
what's the difference between 16 and 14?
No, I mean she's sitting around with my other kids. I don't know. I teach my girls at a teenager age.
So by 14, you would have been teaching.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let's stay on that. Let's say 14 versus 14, basically.
So you're not teaching your girls like about your life, like
of course, definitely, but I didn't necessarily finish. What I'm teaching them begins at educating first. They have to educate themselves, right? Then they have to own their own businesses. Later on is a relationship, but at the same time, the relationship, it has to come. I'm not bringing up my child to not be in a solidified relationship. We're not length.
I don't think he's asking about the education. I think everybody teach their kids about education.
I don't really think so.
Get to the nitty gritty. What?
Because I feel like every time you ask her a question, she got to get like to the like, oh, like she got to throw in like, you know, I'm doing this. No, just be honest, sir.
That is being honest, though. But
everybody, that's not what she asked me, though.
That's exactly what he asked.
Of course, like I teach my kids.
No, your teeth. There's a difference between because there's a difference between if you're saying, hey, I don't really like the way that your demeanor is about how you're raising your kids because you're trying to make it seem all like you're like, oh, you're lying and you're making things up and things like that.
No, I never said you was making up no money.
You did actually.
Well, no, I said no, but I said was if you could afford it, you would put reason. That's what.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Because that's the implication of making things up. That's the implication of making things up.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't even know you from Adam Eve. But what I'm saying is, I notice every time somebody asks you a question, you gotta like put like the professionalism in it.
Well, what's wrong with being professional?
You think she's providing us a representative today? So there you have it, folks. Two amazing moms, two interesting points on a very strong topic. So here's the real question. Is the issue parenting, or is the issue America's deep-seated relationship with capitalism and how social media has amplified children's awareness of other people's lifestyles? Here's what I think. I don't think that corporal punishment is the way to go. I think you're right. You can't beat your kids into changing who they are as people. It could also lead you to legal ramifications, and you could also lose your children. I think that if you want help, you should seek family therapy. I'm Dr. Ajayi, your board-certified psychiatrist, and I hope we've connected minds on the real question.
No be small thing, we go level up. No more waiting, we go level up. I feel it in my spirit, we go level up. No wahala, cause the problem, we go level up. All my friends with it, we go level up. Deep down, I believe it, we go level up. If you think big, we go